Back one final time here. I'm Adam Azer filling in for Kevin Cork today and joined once again by Jerry Palm as we're going to look at some of the bowl projections. I really hope your national championship pick comes true, but let's get to that in a little bit. Start out with the Fiesta Bowl. Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. I think the Irish fans would be pretty happy about that, but going up against Kansas State, that could be a fun one.
Yeah, that could be a fun game. Kansas State is the Big 12 representative, a replacement for the champion of that league who's in the national championship game. And then obviously the Fiesta Bowl, which gets the first choice of at-large teams after the teams in the championship game are replaced, would love to have a shot at Notre Dame.
Now, the Orange Bowl is very interesting. Florida State and Boise State is your projection right now. Boise State, they're not really having that great of a year. They are ranked in the top 25, but I guess the competition just isn't that good for that final spot.
Yeah, well, that's how it works. Florida State, of course, is in there as the ACC champion. Boise State, in order to qualify, has to finish either in the top 12, which is kind of iffy, or in the top 16, but ahead of one of the AQ conference champions. And with the Big Ten down so far and their best team not eligible, it's very likely that Boise State, if they can get to 11-1, would finish ahead of the Big Ten champion. Then they'd only have to be in the top 16, and in this week's pre-BCS rankings, they're already at 22.
So we look at the Rose Bowl now. You've got Nebraska coming out of the Big Ten and USC coming out of the Pac-12. Big Ten's got some issues this year, and Ohio State's not eligible. All right, so we already talked about this earlier in the show. Let me just ask, is there any point in the season, other than an Oregon win over USC, where you might say, well, maybe Oregon's going to come out of this conference? Because they look pretty good right now.
They do look pretty good right now. Yeah, if USC stumbles again, we'll see what happens over these next 3 or 4 weeks before they play each other. That's what happened. I had LSU number 1 at the beginning of the year, and then it became apparent after 3 or 4 weeks that really wasn't going to be the case, that LSU was struggling and that Alabama was so dominant that you couldn't ignore them anymore. And if Oregon continues to, blow teams out and SC struggles like they have a couple of times, then maybe I'll change my mind on that pick, but probably it's going to take Oregon actually going to L.A. and beating them.
Yeah, that game's at USC on November 3rd. Now let's look at the Sugar Bowl. It's Georgia and Louisville.
Yeah, Georgia, the replacement for Alabama in the title game, and this is interesting because I'm not picking Georgia to win the East Division. I'm actually picking South Carolina to win the division, but these bowls don't like teams coming off conference championship game losses, and that makes Georgia a more attractive candidate for this spot if they're able to win out and yet not win the division.
And I hope you're right about the BCS National Championship game. I think a lot of people would love to see this matchup, Alabama and West Virginia. So West Virginia coming off that win against Texas, you've got them going to the National Championship. They still, just like Alabama, these two teams still have a tough schedule ahead.
They do, although West Virginia just played their toughest road game on their schedule this week when they beat Texas. They still have Oklahoma, but they have them at home. They have Kansas State, but they have them at home. And no road game is easy in any conference, but West Virginia's schedule sets up best among all of these undefeated teams for them to be able to finish the job and get to 12-0.
Jerry, thanks a lot for your time. Really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
And reminder, every Monday, the updated bowl projections are available on CBSSports.com. And another reminder to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/EyeOnCollegeFootball. On Twitter at EyeOnCFB. Tomorrow, join us live at 10 a.m. We'll have CBS College Football insider Bruce Feldman joining us, and Kevin Cork will be back. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'm Adam Azer. It's been a pleasure to fill in today on College Football 360. Have a good one.